Welcome to the show. It's Friday the 2nd of December. Thanks for joining us. Joining myself and Bobby Rimmer in the studio today, we've got Terry Dooley, Bobby.
Again?
He
likes it.
Can't get rid of him, can we? You know what I mean?
He don't go home, you know, he just stays here all the time. He don't go home, he gets under the ring and we give him a bit of toast now.
I think this is my hat trick now, but...
Yeah, come in tonight. He was knocking on the door, wasn't he, Bob? So
yeah, he's going mad. He's just mad for the telly, innit? He can't help himself.
But yeah, we've got Terry around for the whole show, so thanks Terry for coming in, mate.
Thanks for joining us again, mate.
And you, Bob.
And also on the phone, we've got the phone calls back, Bobby, so it's brilliant. Yeah. We've got
Brandon Rios. And Smitty, he's got his own television show, a bit like ours in America, but he's in Las Vegas and we're in Duckingfield, so it's a bit of, you know, bit of, what do you call it, not the same.
Just a bit,
yeah. He just said Smitty now Bouts looks like a Puerto Rican. Last week he was a Moroccan. I don't know what's going on with him, Bouts.
I know, yeah.
The man of many faces.
Just for the viewers out there, obviously, if you don't know who Brandon Rios is, he's the WBA lightweight champion who John Murray's going to fight this weekend, so we've got a great interview with him coming up later. We've also got James Smitty Smith, who does In This Corner TV over there, as Bobby said, in Vegas. So it's a big show tonight, as usual, which we always say that. But
we always have a big show, don't we?
Extra special show tonight, innit? Because
we aim to please, don't we, mate?
That's what it's all about, mate. We're going to go straight into the results, lads, from last week. Up in Motherwell, Scotland, Andy Crawler did the Mancunian lads proud there. He fought a guy called Willie Lemond. You know, obviously...
You expected a bit more out of Willie Lemond, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just going to go into that.
It was really negative. And
he realised in the first round, I think, that he couldn't win the fight, and he was just surviving.
Just to go into it, sorry, just for the viewers, obviously Anthony defended his British lightweight title, and you know he went the distance on points over 12 rounds. Anthony won the fight, but as you know, as you said,
it was just, you know what I thought, you know, like on a different version, but it was a bit like Pacquiao and Mosley. You know, there was like,
well, the friends aren't.
No, mates, wasn't it? It was like, oh, nice one, mate, and all that. You know what I mean? And Anthony was trying everything he possibly could, wanted to, but you know, Willie Lemond didn't even really try, did he?
He stepped up in round 8, Anthony, and Lemond tried pouring it back on a bit, but Anthony put him in his place. And I think I saw Crawler on Saturday morning, and he said he tried to step it up a few times to try and go for the stoppage. But with someone like Willie, if Willie's there to survive, it's hard to put Willie away.
Do you think it was a case of Lemond, not saying he didn't try, but you know, did he get old that night?
He just knew he was going to lose. I think in the first round he tried a few things. I mean, a few people said that they gave him the first round, but I don't think he was in it in the first round.
No, I didn't.
Once you've been knocked out of it in the first round, and if you go back to your corner, and Bobby will know more about this, if you go back to your corner and your trainer's telling you what to do and you're thinking, I just can't do it, then you probably thought I'll survive for 11 rounds and kill the clock.
That's the thing with boxing, you know, when it leaves you, it doesn't leave you in the gym or on the road, it leaves you in here where we are. It disappears.
Where you find out.
This is where you find out. They say, don't they, in here the truth will always find you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's happened to him. The camp's gone great, the training camp's gone great, everything's gone great. And he feels great, and he's got in the ring, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, it's not there.
Not coming back. See you later.
Crawler's so improved as well. I spoke to Crawler for Boxing Monthly because he's had an amazing year. If you look at the start of the year to the finish of the year, fair enough, he beat Andy Morris in 2010 to put his name up there amongst the titles. But this year, step up to lightweight, win the title, defend it at the end of the year, and of course he was linked with Morales, and he fought in Vegas. It was amazing. Yeah,
it's probably the most improved fighter in Britain.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you know, there's a lot of that bandied about, the most improved fighters and stuff like that. But Anthony Crawler's come on leaps and bounds, hasn't he? Under Joe Gallagher, you know, he's really kind of found his niche, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Just going back to Lemond, how did Lemond get that shot, Terry? Because you know, a few people kind of raised that.
Yeah, I mean, Lemond, it's his first time. I think it's the first time he's made lightweight for a while. He just seems to be a bogeyman across the internet at the time. A lightweight such as John Murray was defending his titles when I'd always pop up and say you've avoided Willie Lemond, and I think a lot of it was based on the troubles he gave to Amir Khan. But it's just it was just one of those things with Lemond. Crawler had to put him aside and beat him just so otherwise people Crawler could defend against someone else and just want to say, well, what about Willie Lemond? He's technically brilliant, he's really underrated and no one wants to give him a chance. He's had his chance. He lost near enough every round, so I think that's done at the title level.
The fight wasn't great, but you can't really blame Anthony for that because he was now Anthony could do it.
It's very hard to fight someone who doesn't want to fight. Someone who's just negative. It's very, very hard. Not to beat him, but
to look good.
To look good. You know, the other kid don't want to fight. You know, it doesn't work. You know, same with Kieran the other week when he fought that Yusuf Alameda. Just didn't want to fight. Makes the other kid look mediocre. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just one of them things. It happens, doesn't it?
And if you go crazy, you leave yourself open to make mistakes. So
Exactly,
he stepped up the gas a few times. He said he wanted to move through the gears, but sometimes you move through the gears and the other guy's backing away.
He showed great maturity, didn't he? Because he didn't lose his head, and he didn't go running in and trying to get Willie Lemond out of there. He stuck to his guns, and he stuck to what he was being told in the corner, listened to the corner, and he got through the fight great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and 12 rounds under the belt.
Yeah, well, we were talking about.
I don't agree with that. 12 rounds under the belt. If you can get them out there, get them out there. Get home early, don't you?
I know, yeah.
I think it's just a case of plucking positives all through.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have done because Willie Lemond was never stood in front of him long enough, you know, and Anthony was cutting the ring off and doing different things, and Willie Lemond was just absolutely negative in that.
Yeah.
So there was nothing he could have done.
They're talking now for Anthony Crollo, looking at Ricky Burns. You know, how do you feel on that? I think that may be a little bit a fight or two away. I think for me, the one I'd like to see is Kevin Mitchell.
When are they looking for the Crollo and Ricky Burns fight?
Well, people are talking that now, aren't they? Always beating, you know.
Well, they have to, don't they? That's what people do. You know, when a kid wins, they're immediately looking for another opponent for him. Not the team, the members of the public, the boxing fans. You're looking at who he would be good against next. You know what I mean? So you know that is a great fight, isn't it? You know, Ricky Burns and Anthony Crollo is a great fight.
And Crollo said he'd be up for it, but maybe a couple of fights down the line. I mean, if you offered Crollo the fight tomorrow, we would sign on for the fight.
Of course,
he's a professional
fighter.
With Ricky Burns, maybe it makes sense, as Bobby was saying. He's recently won the title, get him in with a British lightweight, but I'd like to see him fight Kevin Mitchell for his first defence.
Do you think so?
Kevin missed out on the Rios fight because obviously he's been a bit of a naughty boy, so if he fought Burns, it'd be...
Kevin, stop being a naughty boy, son, and you can have these big fights, lad.
And Ricky Burns, I mean, there was stories about Ricky Burns doing really well against Kevin in sparring, so Kevin might want to put a few things right by fighting Ricky Burns in the new year.
And, you know, the winner of that one, depending on how John Murray goes, he's got a blockbuster
fight. If Murray comes back with a WBA belt, Crollo's in the party as well. Lightweight's the best division. Just all throw them together and have a sequence.
It's strange, though, wouldn't it, Crollo and Murray?
I don't think that'd happen.
No, Crollo, them two will be kept apart unless
something
ridiculous happen, like them both winning world titles, nothing to unify. With Joe running between corners.
Joe would do two corners, wouldn't he, Joe?
30 minutes each side. And,
yeah, so, you know, that was well done for Anthony winning the... defending successfully his title on Saturday night, last Friday night. Also on the bill, we had Matthew Hall, who beat Chris Carslow, which, you know, he's with... That was a unanimous decision, again, on points.
Gone back to Arnie, hasn't he?
Yeah, gone back to Arnie.
It's strange
Matthew
because
Hall.
after he got beat the last time, you know, obviously we was in the same dressing room, and, you know, he was saying in the dressing room, that's it, it's finished, it's done.
Yeah.
And then he's moved to Anthony Farnell, which is great, you know, it's hats off to Anthony. He's pulled him round again, and he's gone out and beat Chris Carswell.
It sounds crazy. It looks like he just bit down on his gum shield from the start and thought, I was absolutely terrible last time. I'm going to go and win this fight, and I don't care. And his movements at times looks a little forced. He was trying to force a bobbing and weaving, but as rounds 5, 6, 7 and 8, he started to warm up a bit more. Obviously, he's got the stamina to do those rounds, so the more rounds he got under his belt, the better he started to
He wasn't out of the gym long, was he? You know, he's gone back to Arnie, and we all know that Arnie's, you know, he gets his kids right, don't he? And, you know, they're always bang on, you know, fit. So, you know, maybe he was lacking a bit of fitness the last fight, maybe. And then he's needed that, you know, this longer camp. Now it's kind of 2 camps rolled into one to forge ahead and to get his fitness back. His ring, you know, he could have been rusty that fight, a little bit ring rusty and stuff like that. And now, you know, he looked good the other night, didn't he?
And he'd had the breathing problems in the past with the nose operation as well. So as you say, maybe the last time he thought I was terrible, looked at the fight with a cool head and thought I at least thought I can go out again in a few weeks.
It's like you say, you only get remembered in boxing by your last fight, don't you?
Yeah, of course, So. And it's great news for Arnie as well, because he can get a bit of stick sometimes, Arnie, can't he? You know?
Well, listen, we all get it now. All coaches get it now and again, and sometimes it's unfair, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just the way it is. That we put ourselves up on the front line, don't we? You know, we're not hiding round the corner, are we? You know, we're up there, right up front. So we're the first ones that's going to get it. When your fighters perform badly or do something wrong, you know, it's down to us. You know,
it reminds me of that saying: "Defeat has 1,000 fathers and victory's an orphan." And the coach usually gets
a belt to that. I'm having that over the door there.
The coaches always get the defeats and the fighters get the victories. The division of labour is not great.
Yeah, I mean that was a British light middleweight title eliminator, so he's someone who could be on your radar.
I mean, you know, Brian comes through this and wins the title. If that's a British title eliminator, well, obviously then it's Matthew Hall, you know. So, but that's you know, we've got to get the fight over first before we are. I mean, it's going to be Brian or Matthew Hall will fight either Brian or Prince Adam. So, you know, whatever happens, you know, on the night. So, you know, it's nothing to me. I don't look past fights, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Also, moving on, lads, last Saturday night, there was a night of Coldwell boxing, Dave Coldwell. But night at the Magnus Centre in Rotherham. Sorry, Terry, you was down there. Curtis Woodhouse was on the bill, he beat Gary MacArthur.
Yeah, stop doing that in football.
He's looking like a boxer these days, Curtis. He's really, that's what a lot of people said. Usually when you'd write an article on him or he was featured in a TV report, he'd be former footballer Curtis Woodhouse, and now he's just starting to be referred to as a boxer and someone who's moving into title contention.
Is it true he's calling Frankie Gavin out again?
He talks about the fight. He said he thinks he did better than people thought in the Frankie Gavin fight.
He said that he was calling Frankie Gavin out again.
Well, I think he wants a title fight, so I mean, Frankie, no one knows what's going on with Frankie at the moment, so I think Curtis is just looking. Dave has promised him a title fight in the new year, so he's looking at the Fear Pain fight. He's looking at Wright as well in that fight if Wright springs an upset, so I just think Curtis just wants to fight for the Lonsdale belt. His dad Bernard, he made a promise to him when he first turned professional that he'd win the Lonsdale belt, because that's the traditional belt all fans recognise, so I think that's what Curtis has his heart set on. And
looking at Curtis, he's definitely got the talent to win a title, hasn't he?
He's got the ambition, hasn't he? I mean, you know, anyone who'll jack us in as a professional footballer and then go into this mad game and be a professional boxer and start from the bottom. Well, it's not the easiest game in the world, is it? So, it's, you know, hats off to him. He's certainly got the ambition, and let's hope he gets there.
What was the venue like? Because I've not been to the Magnus Centre.
Yeah, it's the second time I've been there. It's a decent venue. The last time it was really compact. This time they seem to put a bit more space between the inner ring side and the outer ring side and the normal seating, and I think it killed the atmosphere a little bit, and the running order as well. No disrespect, but when David Barnes went the points distance, that killed the atmosphere a little bit because he's not a local lad. So, but then when the last two fights, the atmosphere lifted with Ryan and obviously Curtis being local lads. So maybe if they compact it all next time, that'd be a really.
How did he do, David Barnes? How did he look?
He landed some decent shots. I mean, he was putting some decent lefts in, but then he was gesturing to his shoulder, and in the fight he was showing out that he had a shoulder injury, and then he pointed to his shoulder after the fight and said that he had some problems delivering the left hand. So
that's what he had. That's what he retired with, wasn't it? His shoulder.
So but Dave has tweeted today that he's going to be okay to be out again in February. It was just a muscle twinge. So, but maybe next time he fights, don't let his opponent know. I mean, obviously this fight he had no danger if you lose, and he was fighting Isaac Quarter, who's lost a few people at ringside thought he was going to be taking on Ike Quarter. Something like bought the tickets under the wrong pretenses. Someone said Ike Quarter's not looking the fighter he was, but
mad, aren't they?
Crazy, isn't it? Madness. Okay, moving on in the States as well, we had Adrian Broner. He beat Martin Rodriguez. It was a knockout in the third round, quite a brutal knockout. In fact, is he the real deal, Terry, for you, this Broner? Because it takes him to 21-0 now. Yeah. And it's something like 22-0, sorry, 18 KOs.
Physically and in terms of ability, he looks great, but with the 20-30 man entourage, I'm not sure if that's a sign that mentally he needs a guy who needs a lot of slappers and someone to rub his shoulder and tell him he's a champ. I remember watching Andy Lee years ago, and he had about 20 people surrounding him and recording him and hanging on his every word, and then when he got into a dogfight, he ended up losing. But with Broner, his speed looks good, the way he delivers his shots looks good, but he's not going to be tested until a couple more fights down the line.
You're kind of on your own in here, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But the Americans need a new superstar coming through, so maybe he's looked at, as Steve Lillis was saying, maybe he's looked at Floyd and thought, I'll take a few of Floyd's moves in and out of the ring, but the jury's still out. Yeah,
I mean, with them kind of fighters, you always need to see him in a bit of a war, don't you, to really see, to see how great they're going to be and stuff like that. But he netted the WBO super featherweight title that night, so obviously he was happy with that performance. In Mexico as well, sorry, on the undercard, we had Gary Russell Jr. He beat Heriberto Ruiz.
He looks the real deal to me.
Yeah, he could be the American superstar.
He does.
It was a knockout in the first round.
Yeah, I was talking to Lee Beard about him.
And it helps knocking people out. It's good to put them out.
And he didn't have a bad record, that Rios, did he? He was pretty tough, wasn't he? And them uppercuts was killing him, wasn't they?
It looks one to watch, doesn't it, that Russell?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, moving on then from Mexico, Canelo Alvarez as well.
Hey, you've not spoke about the big heavyweight yet, the big kid.
Oh, the big kid, yeah. Also on the card. Then we had American heavyweight prospect.
I was quite impressed by him.
Deontay Wilder. He went to 20-0 with 20 KOs.
20 KOs.
Yeah, he knocked out David Long.
You know what? He's 6'7", isn't he? 15 stone and fit.
Yeah, he looks like Peter Crouch.
He's not. You know, his torso is massive. He's big, got little legs, but thin legs, but and it makes a change, doesn't it, to see a big heavyweight that's in condition. You know, that does really look like an athlete and very athletic. You know what I mean? And, mate, he's one of them. If he hits you, you stay hit, don't you? You know what I mean?
Well,
going to make your ears ring a bit, isn't it?
Although you'd worry with the weight he's carrying, as you say, on those spindly legs, that if he gets a crack on the chin, he might.
For big 18-stone heavyweight. You know, it'd be nice to see someone like Tyson Fury and the likes of them, because they're sort of on a similar record, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, sure. I think Tyson took 2 steps backwards in his last performance, if you want to call it.
Well, we was talking last time, and I think he needs to stay. You know, people were saying he might meet David Price in 18 months for a bigger sort of title or something. I think he needs to stay around this level now, and them kind of guys need to match up, because he's far from European level, from being headline world level. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, moving on, we had in Mexico, Canelo Alvarez beat Kermit Cintron. He looked old, didn't he? Again, it was one of them fights. You know, Alvarez successfully defended his...
He got clocked early on, didn't he, Cintron? And you could see, he thought, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
You
Felt
know,
the power, didn't
he? And Alvarez this time
was
no nonsense, was he? You know, he was just, he knew, didn't he? He didn't even move his head, did he? He was just, you know, he didn't even move his head to the side. He just went forward and just started throwing the shots, didn't he? And Cintron was never going to stay there.
And he's like that, Cintron. If you put it on him early, he's one of those fighters who does go into a shell, and he's been lifting on the knockout of Matisse for quite a while. It was a spectacular knockout, but he's in some of his toughest fights, he's been found lacking. So it's going to be a tough road back for Cintron, and obviously Alvarez is blazing forward.
What do you think, because we mentioned it on the show before, what do you think of Alvarez, you know, because obviously they're talking he's going to be this next Mexican legend, you know, do you see it like that, Terry, or is it again a case of he needs to get in a bit of a war to see how, you know, see how
it's hard to say, maybe not so much a war, but he just needs one of those marquee names. He's beaten some decent contenders, some decent former champions. It sounds crazy, but if you put someone like Shane Mosley, and I know Shane Mosley killed the Pacquiao fight stone dead, but if you put him in with Alvarez, and Alvarez stands him on his head or does something with Shane that nobody else could do, then it gets the excitement going. It's not a great fan fight for the purists, but sometimes you just need these marquee fights.
I think they'll be looking for something for him now, won't they? You know, maybe you know, to get in the new year with him, and they'll be thinking, right, okay, let's move him on a little bit, because he's got the fan base now, hasn't he? And he's, you know, people know who he is, and people are looking at him, and so maybe it is, you know, the marketing part for him to be the next superstar. Maybe it's now time for him to, okay, well, let's have a go then with him. You know what I mean?
So it's a weird division, like middleweight. It doesn't get unified as often as it should do, and you kind of look at it and think, well, if you're a big, solid light middleweight, you might as well go to middleweight, because that's the traditional division. And with Alvarez, I hope he'll stay around a few fights for light middleweight, take on an old veteran that he can maybe banjo, and then go for unification.
Still hard to believe how young he is, isn't it? You know, 22, like, you know. So,
he's done a lot, and he's been experienced, and you can't beat that experience, mate. You can't buy it, can you? And you know, that's what you need.
Exactly. Just going back to the fight though with Cintron, you know, he got knocked down ever in the 4th round. Do you think it should have been stopped on that first knockdown? Because I personally think it maybe should have been stopped. He looked out.
It's tough to say when someone goes down that heavily and get back up. I remember Shannon Briggs going down like he'd just been shot in the head against Lennox Lewis and getting up and clearing his senses. There was a Steve Cunningham fight recently where it looked like a sniper in the crowd had taken him out, and he got back up again and fought. So
it depends. I mean, we can't look in the fighter's eyes, can we? I mean, you can obviously see it when they're all over the ring and they're falling all over. We can see it, but you know, the referee's there to do a job, and the referee's looked in the kid's eyes and he looks okay to carry on, he's let him carry on. You know, so, you know, it's hard for us really, isn't it? You know, if we're not actually looking at the fight, you know.
Okay, right, moving on, lads, we're going to talk some boxing fixtures that are coming up this weekend. Before we do that though, Bobby, we're going to give out the email address. I'll give it out, because there's no point even asking you, is there? Right, okay, if you want to get in contact with us here at the show, you can email info@maineventboxingshow.co.uk. Check out the website as well, www.maineventboxingshow.co.uk, and also check out premiersports.tv.
Or rbrt.rimmer@googlemail.com. How's that?
Brilliant, nice one.
See?
Okay, make sure you keep that one in. This is the Main Event Boxing Show brought to you by Premier Sports in association with Hustle Productions. Earlier on we spoke to Brandon Rios on the phone. Have a look at this. Okay, this is the Main Event Boxing Show in association with Premier Sports. We're joined on the phone now all the way from the States with WBA lightweight champion Brandon Rios. Hello, Brandon.
How's it going, guys? How's it going?
How's it going, mate? Thanks for taking the time out today. Obviously, we know you're busy. You know, you've got a fight on this weekend with Britain's John Murray. First question we've got for you tonight, mate. How's preparation gone for the fight?
Oh, going great. My preparation is very great. The training camp I had went very well up there in Mexico, training beside Margarito and everything. So I'm ready to go, and I'm mentally and physically ready, 100% confident, and I'm ready.
Brilliant. How's the weight gone? You know, have you had any problems getting down to the weight?
Well, no. Sometimes I do, but you know, it hasn't really been that much problem. I've been making it very well, and that's not going to be a factor in the fight. I'm going to be 100% ready, and I'm going to be ready for John Murray.
Okay, brilliant. As the fact that, you know, Brandon, we nearly the fight nearly got moved, you know, due to the this trouble that Margarito had with the, you know, with the eye. Has that caused any problems, you know, in preparation, or have you dealt with that okay as well?
No, actually it hasn't, you know. Margarito, he's 100% confident and 100% ready also, so there's no factor that it would cause any problems. And he's ready to fight. Actually, I was in camp and I seen him train, I seen him spar, and he looked tremendous. The eye is not a factor, the eye is no problem with him, so he's ready, I'm ready, so the camp went well. We both was motivating each other, so camp went very well.
Excellent. And you know, the fight obviously nearly got moved from New York as well. Did that have any effect on the preparation?
No, it didn't have any effect on my preparation. You know, honestly, I don't really care where I fight. I'm a warrior. I don't care where is it at or where I fight. You know, as long as I fight, it doesn't bother me. As long as they have an opponent in front of me, I'm ready.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, going back to the fight then on Saturday night, what do you know about Britain's John Murray? Because obviously you're defending your title there. Do you study him? Do you know anything about him?
Well, I know that John Murray, you know, he's a tough fighter. He comes forward like he has a similar style as mine. And he's ready to fight. He's ready to gain his win back from his loss. That's all I know really much about him. And we'll see what happens. I'm ready 100%, and hopefully he's ready, because if he's not ready mentally and physically, it's going to be a very short night for John Murray. If he's ready, it's going to be a good fight for both of us, and not only for us, but for the fans that are watching.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, you mentioned that you both got similar styles. Is that the style that you're going to take into the ring on Saturday night? Are you going to, you know, stand in the centre of the ring and have it out with him, or are you going to maybe change your tactics a little bit?
Well, you know, if he changes tactics, that's his. You know, that's his. My tactics are still the same, and I'm ready 100%. And if his tactics, hopefully he didn't change. You know, hopefully he didn't try to make it different. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm ready for whatever he brings to the table. If he feels like he needs to change it and he's gonna try to box me, we'll see. If he feels that he's not, then I'm ready for that too. I'm ready for war. So whatever he brings, I'm ready for.
Brilliant.
Hi Brandon, this is Terry Dooley from Boxing Scene. I was just wondering if the fact that you've got big fights lined up for the future may make you take your eyes off John Murray and neglect to give 100% in the fight, looking at bigger fights down the line.
Well, a lot of people have always been saying that I've been looking past John Murray and I've been talking about other fights and everything, but they don't understand. That's just the way I am. I don't look past him. I haven't looked past John Murray. I'm ready 100% for John Murray. I'm 100% confident that it's going to be a good fight and that he's the best John Murray's going to come out. So people can say what they want to say, that I'm looking past him. They don't know the way I train. They don't know how I am. So we'll see what he says. You know, I'm ready 100%, and he's going to find out. He's going to find out the night on December 3rd that I did not look past him. And if he feels that I look past him, then that's his problem. I know I'm ready.
Brandon, it's the first time you're fighting in Madison Square Gardens. You must be looking forward to fighting in front of a New York fan base.
Well, you know, this is the first time being in New York. This is the first time I'm going to fight in New York. So I'm very excited to come out to the East Coast and give the fans what they want and show them that hopefully me and John Murray put on a good show for them. So we'll see what happens December 3rd. But I'm 100% ready, and it's going to be a great fight.
Okay, brilliant. The last question we've got for tonight then is, you know, have you got a prediction for the fight?
Do I have a prediction for the fight?
Yeah, you know, is it going to be a long drawn-out affair, or are you going to get him out there early?
Well, like I told you earlier, if John Murray is not mentally and physically ready to prepare himself 100%, it's going to be an early night. So if he came prepared and ready and physically and 100% ready, his preparation, all that, then it's going to be a good fight. We're going to have a really good fight out there, and we'll get the fans what they want. So if he doesn't come prepared, if not, it'll be a good fight.
Okay, brilliant. Well, Brandon, we know you're busy, so good luck for the fight on Saturday night. And, you know, hopefully we'll talk to you again in the new year.
Well, I want to say thank you guys and everything, you know. Thank you. It's always been a pleasure. And I'd like to say thanks to all my friends out there in the UK. A lot of the support out there. I have out there, so thank you guys and everybody out there that supports me. But hopefully, thank you guys, and hopefully we'll give you guys a good show.
Okay, thanks a lot, Brandon.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye. Okay, that was Brandon Rios. What do you think about that on the night?
Mate, it's absolutely brilliant that we've got him on the show, innit? You know,
It's good of him to come on so near to the
he's
fight.
took the time out to come on the show, you know what I mean? But
just going back to what he said, though, what do you think about, you know, he thinks if no matter which John Murray turns up, obviously, he thinks he's going to take him out.
He's told him, hasn't he? He said he's you know, you've got to listen to what he says, and he said he's 100% prepared, and he just hopes that John Murray is, because, you know, if he's not, it's to his pedal. But I should imagine John Murray will be ready for him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got 10 knockouts on the spin as well. That's going to foster a sense of confidence, and people are looking at it from the outside and saying John will just be lucky to wear the final bell and break that run of stoppages. So he's got every right to be confident ahead of the fight.
Yeah.
Saying that, though, you've spoke to John recently, you know, we've seen him not long ago on the show and stuff, and he's got a steely-eyed determination about him,
like
you know,
he's maniac on Saturday, so if that's anything to go by, then he's going to be kicking the door doing his Johnny thing, Ace Johnny on the night. And
looking forward to it. It's going to be, I think it's definitely the fans are going to win with that one anyway. You know,
it'll be exciting.
Yeah, of course. Okay, moving on. Earlier on as well, we spoke to James Smitty Smith from In This Corner TV. Check this out. This is the main event boxing show on Premier Sports every Friday night at 10 p.m. We're joined on the phone now from the States with our expert in Vegas, Smitty from In This Corner TV. Hello, James.
How are you?
We're great, mate. Great. Thanks for joining us, pal.
No problem. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. I've got nothing better to do than Skype with you guys.
Brilliant. You know, that's great, isn't it? You know what I mean? Telling us it's nice and sunny over there when it's freezing. But James, we're going to go straight into the action that's coming up this weekend. Obviously, there's a big fight concerning the lads from over here, the Manchester lads. John Murray fights Brandon Rios for the WBA lightweight title. I just wanted to get your opinion on the fight, James, and just whether it was big news over there, you know.
No, not really. Rios is a really good fighter. I've done a number of his fights and interviewed him. Good prospect, real tough kid. Don't know much about his opponent, and all the talk right now is about Cotto and Margarito and the possibility of Mayweather and Pacquiao getting this deal done. That's what we're focused on over here.
Yeah. Well, the co-host Bobby mentioned that.
I seen this morning that Mayweather's asked for the fight now. Is that true, James?
Well, yeah, I think he's been asking for it, recently, and so we'll see. There's a lot of machinations to put this thing together. Bob Arum and Team Pacquiao and Money Mayweather, they're going to try to make as much money as possible. I think you'll see a lot of different entities involved in this fight that you wouldn't normally see to bring the most money to the table. Because it'll be obviously the richest fight in history. It's not Ali Frazier won in terms of the fighters, but it'll certainly be the richest fight in history.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you think that's what they've been holding out for, James? Have they been holding out for more?
I think, I think they've been holding out for a lot of stupid reasons. Part and parcel, the way the athletes are today, and sometimes not using common sense. Although Mayweather's pretty sharp, he probably waited and milked it as much as he could for as long as he could and let it simmer. And now it's at a point where, he's got Pacquiao in a good situation because Marquez once again in the fight a few weeks ago demonstrated that Manny's not a world beater, and in fact I just yesterday moved Floyd back to number 1 on my pound for pound. So in a way Mayweather's positioned it good, but as Sugar Ray Leonard told me about a month ago when we were in New York together, that they need to make it happen now before something derails it, and it almost got derailed a little bit by Marquez. In fact, if the decision had gone the way it should have, it would have taken the luster away because, Manny was beaten by Marquez a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Do you think, James, that when they were saying that Amir Khan was going to fight Pacquiao, do you think that made Mayweather want the fight more before Khan fought Pacquiao, if that was going to happen, or do you think it was a ploy by Freddie Roach to get the fight?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, everything is in place for this fight to take place now. I mean, there's no other fighter, whether it be Amir or Maidana or this guy or Tim Bradley. Nobody cares. We need to get that fight and get it over with. It's not the savior to boxing that everybody thinks it is. It's a good fight. It's the best fight out there right now in terms of what the people want to see. Amir Khan and Tim Bradley and guys like that are the guys we need to look to for the future. We just did an entire show with Amir, which I think was so lengthy because he's such a damn great interview that it'll probably be a 2-part television show. And I look forward to him fighting in a couple of weeks, and look forward to him down the road. If he can do a few things here and there, he may be right at the top of the pound for pound in a year or so.
Yeah, just going quickly on the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight. I think we said last time that we was going for a Mayweather win. Is that how you still feel?
Yeah, I don't think that, obviously it'll be competitive because Manny, is Manny Pacquiao, and I've been lucky enough to be in the ring with both of these guys on my television show. And let me tell you something, Marquez is a counterpuncher with a good right hand, good movement, and he's given Manny fits 3 times. And he clearly won the fight a few weeks ago. If I'm correct, and I've been in the ring with these guys, Mayweather's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he's a great counterpuncher with a sensational right hand and a great jab, something that Manny doesn't deal well with. Actually, I don't think it's going to be that difficult of a fight for Floyd to win. He may not stop him, but, I just think that he will expose some weaknesses that Pacquiao has, which we saw Marquez do 3 times, and I think Mayweather will clearly win the fight.
Yeah.
But I've always said that, So.
Yeah, I remember talking last time about it. We said it then. Just moving back to this weekend, then, James. You mentioned that it's not kind of a big fight, the Brandon Rios-John Murray fight over there. Is that because John Murray's a British opponent? Because I think last time we said as well that sometimes the Americans don't take the Britons too serious when we go over there. Is that probably part of it?
I think it's because some of the guys, even like me, I don't know him. I don't know much about him, and I certainly take him seriously when I get to know him. But there's only so much that we can cover legitimately. And if he beats Brandon, then he's very legit. I doubt he'll do that just because I know how good Rios is. How tough he is, and skilled and has the great training. But hopefully, it'll be a good matchup. Again, with my television show and what we're focused on, and I'm working on a reality show for next year, we can only focus on so much. So I hope I could be asking you guys to tell me about him because I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a similar kind of fighter to Brandon, so it's going to be interesting in the fact that they're going to be 2 guys that are standing in the centre of the ring, and so it's just for a case of how long it lasts, really.
That'll make for a fun fight at least.
Yeah, I think the fans are going to be the real winners of this one. Anyway, just going back to Brandon, how do the fans rate him in America, Brandon Rios? Is he kind of on the lips over there?
you know, I guess looking to him, he would be like an Arturo Gatti, hopefully. You know, he's fun to watch, really exciting, and a good kid, a little bit crazy. I've enjoyed my interviews with him, and he is improving, although he likes to rumble. So he's a fan-friendly fighter.
Yeah, he likes a war, yeah. Okay, just moving up to the main event then as well. Obviously, we've got Margarito Cotto too. How do you see this one going, James? You know, who's got the edge in this fight for you?
Well, you know, we can't talk about this fight without talking about their first fight. And I was ringside at that fight in 2008, and I remember, you know, I don't normally vacillate on my picks, but about 2 weeks before the fight, I switched from Margarito to Cotto. And in sitting there watching the fight ringside, I was saying to a lot of people around me, including, you know, veteran broadcaster and my good pal Al Bernstein, something's wrong. Something's wrong with Cotto. After I said just after 6, something's not right. And I remember Al joking with me after the fight, saying, your man, you know, the guy you picked just lost, so you're making it. I said, no, I said something didn't seem right. Maybe we'll find out he had a broken jaw or this. He just was not reacting right to getting hit. And of course, do we know that the hand wraps were tampered? No, we don't know that. But in my mind, Cotto's mind, and most boxing experts' mind, something was wrong with those gloves. Cotto's face and body and back of it, he was a mess. And he looked like he had been, you know, hit with brass knuckles, which maybe he was. Cotto was outboxing him and winning the fight. He's a better fighter. He's a better technician inside the ring. I just wonder what will happen when he starts to get hit. Margarito, I think, has slowed considerably. We saw that against Pacquiao. He's also got, I think, a lack of confidence now because of the whole hand thing. He's under such a microscope, and there's a lot of negativity about him. Cotto has gone through all the different trainers. He left my good pal Emmanuel Stewart recently. I don't know how, you know, on this new guy that's with him, I don't know much about him, but I do know that Cotto's a better fighter. He's a better technician. If he can, you know, go unscathed for 6 or 7 rounds, I think he should win the fight.
Right, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say sort of, who do you think has the most confidence going into this then? Cotto, you know, because he feels that without the hand wraps, if that was the case, which Cotto feels it was, you know, obviously he's got the confidence then because he don't feel he could have done it without it.
But I think what will happen is both guys will go in there with something in their heads, but it'll be fascinating to watch it unfold and see when a guy gets hit or when Cotto gets hit, if the reaction is, you know, man, this isn't like before. Something, you know, I mean, so I'm going to be fascinated, you know, as a guy who's been in the ring a little bit and really knows these fighters, how their reaction is. And if Margarito lands the big shot and Cotto doesn't react to it. So I think, for me, it's a fascinating fight. As Don King used to say when Trinidad, Viva Puerto Rico, it will be all Puerto Ricans, man. I just was in New York about a month or so ago interviewing the actor Hugh Jackman, you know, for the movie Rios deal. I guess you guys have that out there playing on there about the robots fighting and stuff. And you know, just every time I go to New York, certain parts that I like to hang out, it's all Puerto Rican. So he's going to have a tremendous contingent of fans there, and I'm sure there'll be Mexicans too. And because of the bad blood, it's going to be a hell of a night. I was thinking about actually going, and I changed my mind, and I said, I'm just going to sit here in Las Vegas and watch one for a change rather than be there. So.
Yeah, I was in New York when they actually had Puerto Rican Day as well. It was brilliant. I fitted right in me, you know what I mean?
The only thing better, if you like Puerto Ricans, is being on the beach in Puerto Rico, because the women there are absolutely gorgeous. But that's another story.
Yeah, that's for another show, that, isn't it, I think. Just going back to the main event then, do you think the, you know, you mentioned it a little bit there, but do you think the Pacquiao fight might have taken anything out of Margarito? Because that was a war, wasn't it? And he got brutally beaten up, didn't he?
It obviously, in my opinion, damaged his eye forever. He's been awarded a license now. They tested the eye, but if you look closely, you know he's always wearing those glasses now, Margarito, since that fight. And if you look at the eye, you know, it's just like if you look at Sugar Ray Leonard's eye and other guys that have had these detached retinas and things of that nature. In this case, I think he broke the orbital bone. His eye doesn't look right. And so I think down the road, whether it'll have any telling effects in this fight, I don't know. We'll find out. But I think down the road in life, it will have some effect. And, you know, karma's a you-know-what. And maybe he's getting some bad karma back for what he did or attempted to do to Mosley and what we in boxing feel that he must have done in earlier fights. Well, Cotto will obviously target the eye where he's got a very good jab. So I think he'll target the eye, and he has a very good left hook. But, you know, again, the dramatic difference, these two guys, and I noticed that, you know, I've interviewed Margarito way back when he was a young fighter, you know, and then Cotto many times, and the size difference. You know, Margarito's such a naturally bigger dude. You know, he's going to try to impose that will, but I just see, you know, Cotto outboxing him, staying away and winning. And then I think, you guys remember this, round 6, round 7, if it goes that far, watch and see. If the tide continues to be Cotto boxing and moving and staying away and winning, he'll win. But that'll be the point where I think we'll get some kind of answer about a lot of things, or at least some of the answers, I think, and will be exposed to the things that we've wanted to know.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Do you think the inactivity will have any you know, wrongdoing for Cotto? You know, because he's only had one fight so far this year. He had one fight last year. Do you think that could be his biggest problem?
I think in a fight like this, where, you know, there's so much on the line, you know, he's been fighting as a pro about 10 years, 11 years. Margarito's been a pro since he's been about 15 years old. I don't think so. You know, ring rust is something, but he's, you know, Cotto stays in good shape. And this, again, is so important, this fight. I know if I were him, though, I'd rather have Emmanuel Stewart in my corner than the guy he's got in there who's really doesn't have a lot of experience with boxing. And Cotto's dad is no longer with us, so that's a sad thing, too. So there's so many great, you know, I don't know, do you guys get our 24/7 over there, the HBO show?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've actually enjoyed, I'm so tired of the Manny Pacquiao ones and whatever. This was kind of refreshing because it showed some things, you know, that were a little different behind the scenes. And so, again, this is a fight that, although it's not the two best fighters in the world, in fact, neither guy's in my pound for pound, but it's a fight with, you know, that is fascinating. And I think will play itself out that way. And, you know, and so I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't look forward to many fights these days because I've covered so many, you know, and a couple of weeks ago, I don't know when it was, we lost Joe Frazier, and so it's kind of been a sad time. We did the last entire show with Joe Frazier, and so again, you know, I go all the way back to Muhammad Ali and Frazier won when I was a little boy with Ali, so it's tough for me to get excited, but I'm excited about this one. Yeah,
I think, again, the fans are going to win with this one, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, the following week, we got Amir Khan, who I've you know, really liked the young man. He's my daughter Megan's favorite fighter. She's 20 years old, but I've told Khan to stay away from her. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that fight as well. So we got some good stuff, you know, to end the year. And I think before the year is done, you guys will be probably chatting with me again about the signatures of Mayweather and Pacquiao.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I look forward to it. Just on a last note, James, before we let you get going, mate, how's things with your TV show? You know, how's stuff with you? Are you busy?
Fantastic. You know, we're getting ready to go into our 8th season. Well, April the 1st of 2012 will be the 8th year that we've been on the air in syndication. We're right at about 52 shows, half-hour shows. We got a number of shows coming out now that we shot at the International Boxing Hall of Fame this past June with Tosh Jazoo, George Chuvalo, Mickey Ward, the great Aaron Pryor, and the show that I'm going to have to go into the studio and change now with Smoking Joe Frazier. That show was done and ready to go out to air when we found out that Joe had the liver cancer, and then bam, before you know it, he was gone. So that show, and then the plan next year is we're going to do some different stuff instead of every show being, and we've got the Amir Khan show as well coming out. So we've got tons of new shows coming out, and we're going to do something a little different. We're going to, rather than just have it all be one fighter and me getting in the ring, we'll do that, but we'll also do segments on various topics. And Tecate is our great sponsor, the Mexican beer, and hopefully they'll be with us in 2012. And I'm working on a reality show, which I think will be very exciting for certainly the American public, but probably after a while, all the boxing public and even fans that wouldn't think about boxing. And I wish I could tell you more about it, but until everything's signed on it, I can't. But I'm really looking forward to that.
Brilliant. You've not had me and Bobby on there yet, though, have you?
What's that?
It's missing 2 off the list. I said you've not had me and Bobby on there yet, have you? You're missing 2 off the list.
Yeah, well, not yet. You know what? I could possibly handle you guys in the ring better than I do Amir Khan and Sugar Ray Leonard and the other guys. Maybe not. That's in fact I wasn't able to dress up because I just got out of the boxing gym myself. They forced me to stay in shape because I got to get in the ring with all these great fighters, which people think is an easy thing to do, and it's not. Not when you're trying to at the same time have Antonio Tarver or Roy Jones explain to you how they fight and do it on camera. We're blessed that we're the only ones in the world that really have done this. I've been in the ring now with over 45 world champions, and I'm unbeaten. Now, I'm winless, too. I haven't won, but I haven't been beaten. So I told Mayweather, I've been in the ring with both of you guys, so you and Pacquiao. So one thing it does help, though, is when I make a pick on a fight, it kind of does help when you're up close and personal with these guys in the ring, and you really get an idea of their physical strength and what they do and how they fight, and pretty fascinating. I feel pretty blessed that I've been doing that for this stuff for nearly a decade now, and been involved in boxing since I was a wee little lad of 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
If you're ever over here in England, James, you'll have to come to my gym and you can have a workout in here with me, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. One of the guys that did a great in-ring segment with us was, I'm sure, a friend of your guys, Ricky Hatton. So how's Ricky's weight doing?
Still going big, still big, getting bigger every day.
Tell him I said he better lose some damn weight, or I'm actually going to challenge him to another in-ring segment. I'm 140 pounds right now, so I'm probably a little lighter than him.
Yeah, I'm just glad you've got clothes on today, James, because last time I spoke to you, I think you just got out of the shower, you were saying. Yeah,
well, with this Skype thing, you can do all kinds of naked things, but I don't think you have the audience for it, for a naked Smitty at this point. I don't know. If you have any sponsors, you'd probably lose them.
I don't know. You'd have to speak to Bobby about that. I don't know. I don't know. James, we're going to have to leave it there, pal, because we're running short on time. But as you said, we'll speak to you again anyway, just before Christmas or in the new year.
Yeah, you guys have a great holiday season, and hopefully we will speak. I do think that we'll have that fight worked out by then. So it's great being with you guys.
James. Nice one, James. See you later. Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, this is the main event on Premier Sports, Sky Channel 433. What we're going to do now, lads, we're going to go straight into the fixtures for this weekend. Alexander Povetkin defends his WBA heavyweight title in Helsinki. What do you think of that one, Terry? He's fighting Cedric Boswell.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight in that it's largely been overshadowed by Elenius, because obviously Elenius is the own fighter, so it'll be good to see Povetkin get a defence. I mean, a few years ago he was touted as the saviour of the division, then he disappeared off radar, and now he's just trying to jockey himself into position for the Klitschko fight, because the Klitschko won the division.
Wasn't a great performance, was it, last time out? Povetkin?
No, I think he's gone off the boil pretty much in recent fights. He has decent hand speed and he's got some ability, but as you say, a lot of the heavyweights look fleshy, and I never saw him as a saviour of the division as just a fast-handed heavyweight who had a few ring smarts, but if he got Vitali, he could land a few shots to bust him up, but I think Vlad would control him at range and negate him.
Yeah. Moving on as well, we've got Robert Elenius, as you mentioned. He fights Derek Chisora for the vacant European heavyweight title. I can't see anything but an Elenius win here, I'm afraid, on this one.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, with the Tyson Fury fight, he didn't look great, did he?
As you just said, with the Tyson Fury fight, I mean, Chisora it's going to be hard to trust Chisora after the Tyson Fury fight because he came in out of weight and looks like he wasn't interested. So he can turn around now and say, I've dropped the weight, I'm in the shape of my life, I'm going to spin the upset, but people are going to think, you've said this before and you've not done it. So I think this is the first step of Chisora.
Stop telling them big giant lies, please.
This is the first step of Chisora trying to rebuild himself, and looking at Alenius, he's got 4 stoppage wins on the bounce. He's fought the likes of Sam Peter, he's fought at a higher level. He's just leagues above Chisora, and you expect him to just paste him at range and then knock him out. And then where does Chisora go then?
No, that's what I'm expecting. Unfortunately, I'm hoping.
I hope he wins because I like Chisora as a character, but he needs to. He made a massive mistake in the Tyson Fury fight, and it's going to be hard to rectify that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, moving on as well from Wigan tomorrow night, Brian Rose fights for the British light middleweight title against Prince Aaron. Bobby, you're all set. You've done everything you need to do.
Yeah, everything's done. It's all ready now. All we need to do is just turn up and fight. That's it. You know, all the training's gone fantastic. There'll be no excuses. You know, it couldn't have gone any better. Probably one of the best camps we've had, if not the best. So, you know, he's chomping at the bit, ready to go. I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, it's been a long camp. It's been 20 weeks. I'll be glad to get it over with. You know, it's you know, this last week's been, like always the last week, they're ready. He was ready last weekend. So you could have just got it over and done with last weekend, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just a week of marking time, not sitting about doing nothing, but just going over the last few bits of preparation and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're ready.
Down on it, Also, John Case is on the bill as well. So what happens with that? Are you going to work John's corner?
Yeah, I'll do. John's on first. John's on it. We've got the thing off Sky. John's on first at 6 o'clock. And Brian Rose, he's boxing. Don't forget Carl Placey's fighting tomorrow. That's a good fight. He'll fight Steve Williams. So Carl Placey's the first live fight at 8 o'clock, and Brian and Prince Aaron are in as soon as that fight's over. So as soon as that fight's over, we're in. We're off and running.
Be a really good fight. I saw Aaron in the gym last week. I think it was last Tuesday, and he looks absolutely ripped a bit. It's like they're calling him the White Pacquiao. So
another one. How many of them is there?
There's a few of them knocking about.
They're all like, over the show, aren't they?
As boxing nicknames go, it's become similar to Warrior every time he fights, which is a White Pac-Man.
No, brilliant. It's going to be on Sky Sports 1, but as you mentioned as well, you've got Carl Placey. He takes on Merseyside's Steve Williams
for the eliminator for the British title, and it's a tough fight for Carl. But
I think he's won Carl a win though.
He should. He's a really good puncher, Carl, as well, and he really cracks and delivers his shots really well. So he should pull off the victory, and it's going to be a big year for him next year.
And his training's gone great. You know, Steve was telling me about.
It'll be a great atmosphere as well, won't it? A lot of local fighters on stuff.
So it's great that Robin Park, it's a belting.
Of course. You've got John Case, as we mentioned, on the bill. Warren Sanzer, Ryan Aston, Carl Dilts.
No, Warren's not boxing now.
Is he not? Right?
Yeah, Warren's off.
Okay, thanks for sorting out. Bob, Carl Dilts and Nick Quigley are on the bill as well. So we're looking forward to it.
It'll be a good night of boxing,
I thought it was like Carl Dilts as well. It'll be interesting to catch old Dilts here. We've had high hopes for Carl.
Brilliant. We talked a little bit about earlier on as well, from Madison Square Gardens. Obviously, you've got Cotto Margarito. I think I keep changing my mind on this one, but I think I'm going to go for a Margarito win. Reluctantly, I'd like to see Cotto do it.
You should wear him down. It's a weird fight. It's been really well promoted and advertised. You basically got a fight with a one-eyed cheat against a former star who's seen better days and has been badly faded since Antonio Margarito may or may not have had loaded gloves and give him a real good hiding. So part of me is not interested in the fight. Part of me really wants to see the fight, and the big part of me thinks that Margarito's just going to walk Cotto down, break his heart, and we're going to have Margarito calling for big fights, which will be a shame given his past misconduct.
I think Cotto beats him.
Do you think
hopefully,
I think Cotto beats Margarito.
It'd be nice to, you obviously don't want to root for someone, but it'd be nice for Cotto just to do what he did in the first 6 rounds and maintain it over the fight without being busted up. And the only thing I worry about is that Cotto pretty much quit last time, and once he quits in the fight, or if tough situation against Margarito, he might have flashbacks. And
but you are going to quit if you're getting hit, and you can't believe how hard you're getting it because someone's got something in the gloves.
Obviously we went in
Cotto's not soft, is he? You know, he's tough, and the state of his face, it started going a right mess, didn't it? He looked like he'd been run over in the end, didn't he?
It's just mad with the eye stuff in Margarito. I half expect Bob Arum for his next fight to put on Gabriel against Danger Mouse, because he can obviously sell anything.
Didn't Margarito's coach get get done for that after?
The coach got done, yeah, and Margarito said he had no knowledge. And people say that.
But he had it in his gloves anyway.
For the Shane Mosley fight, they
Mosley
noticed it for the Mosley fight, and he said it had never happened before. But why do it against Shane Mosley, who was ancient and finished, and not do it against Cotto?
If he's got away with it with Cotto, that's why he's done it. But anyway, we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
You don't want to get sued out.
I know, you've got to be careful.
You know, like Nacho Beristain cheating and all that. Well, everyone will think that we think Mexicans are all cheats.
I know.
And you've got to be careful because you look like a Mexican.
On the line as well, we've got that's the WBA Super World Light Middleweight title. It's so confusing, but that's the WBA Super World Light Middleweight title on the line. Yep. So yeah, it's going to be, that's obviously at headlines.
It'll be the solid title if Margarito wins it, WBA solid title.
Yeah.
54 pounds.
Mad, isn't it?
I know. Chief support, we mentioned again earlier on, John Murray. Hopefully, from our point of view, we want John Murray to go out there and win the world title.
We want John to redeem himself and go out and imagine that. Getting beat by Kevin Mitchell and everyone thinks you finished and then going and getting a world title.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Rios, I've seen Rios crease a few times from body shots. He's a decent body puncher himself, but often you find with body punchers they don't like it to the body. Ricky at him when he took some body shots against Ivango, and Floyd obviously targeted his body a few times. Yeah. So if John goes for the body, he might spring an upset, and if Rios crashes the weight and he looks top heavy, you may have overlooked John thinking he'll step up in weight for the marquee fight in his next fight. And
he said himself before, didn't he? He didn't really know much about John Murray, he didn't know him, not heard of him a lot, so there you go, that tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mike Jones is on the undercard as well against Sebastian Andres Lujuan, who fought Jamie Moore a few years ago. That was the last time Lujuan lost, and he's a good, solid fighter. So
that'll be a good fight, yeah. You know, that's on the undercard. Moving on then from California as well, right here on Premier Sports. Saturday night, Sunday morning, we've got the rematch, Abner Mares against Joseph Agbeko for the Agbeko for the IBF and the WBC silver bantamweight titles. So it's a rematch. Obviously, the first one ended in controversy. You know what I mean? It was it was a tough fight, and it's a fight that needed a rematch. This one, didn't it? After all the controversy.
Yeah, and as you say, hopefully this time it's controversy free. You don't really need a big stink going into the break of Christmas. So I mean, the bantamweight tournament's been great. So hopefully they've got two bantamweight fights on, Darchinyan on the undercard. So hopefully all four fighters put in a really good stint. Yeah,
it's brilliant. And like I say, you can catch that. That's the Darchinyan ones for the WBA Super World bantamweight title, and also it features Carlos Molina and Sakio Beekers on the bill as well.
So we'll leave the headbutts to Beaker, and hopefully he'll use the night's headbutt allocation. And that coverage starts on Premier Sports Saturday night, Sunday morning, 2 a.m. So make sure you check out that. Brilliant night of boxing over the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to it. Bobby, good luck tomorrow night with Brian. You know,
thanks very much.
Well, Terry, thanks for coming in, mate. Last thing I've got to finish on. Cheers, mate. Last thing we've got to finish on is that's going now, isn't it? We're getting rid of that.
Mate, I don't know yet.
He looks kind of suave.
Mate, I've had kind of...
distinguished, doesn't it?
If you let me get my words out, I'll tell you what's going on. I've had kind of mixed feedback. Some people say it makes me look quite dashing and it knocks a few years off me, and some people say it makes me look older. So, you know, you've got my email address out there if you want to send us a few messages, and we'll see.
Yeah, stick it on Twitter.
Yeah, put it on Twitter, see what you think, whether it should go or should it stay.
Brilliant. Okay, this has been the end of the show. Like I say, Terry, brilliant. Thanks for coming in, mate. I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Thanks, Tez, as always.
Been a great show. We've had Brandon Rios, James Smith, Terry Dooley. What a show.
And thanks very much to Puerto Rican Pete.
If you want to get in contact with us on the show, it's info@maineventboxingshow.co.uk. Like I say, check out the website www.maineventboxingshow.co.uk and premiersports.tv. Next week we're back with Kerry Kays in the studio, and Adam Smith, head of Sky Boxing, is also on the show. So
and thanks to Boxing Monthly for sending me a new t-shirt. I needed one.
Brilliant.